Let's stop pretending. Let's stop sugarcoating this existence with self-help platitudes and shallow affirmations. You weren't born into this world to float. You were born to burn, to break, to be broken, and then rise. Not as who you were, but as something the world has never seen before. Pain. That word alone makes people recoil. But for warriors like us, for those who march under the shadow of the GrimFace flag, pain is not a punishment. It's an invitation. An invitation to become the rarest breed of human, the kind forged by betrayal, molded by abandonment, refined by inner agony. You see, most people run from pain. They sedate it, they numb it, they drown it in dopamine, distractions, and digital lies. But you were chosen to face it. Understand the furnace you're in. Every hardship, every sleepless night, every why me moment is part of the furnace that's been heating your steel. And make no mistake, you are being forged. Because you weren't meant to stay who you are. You're not meant to be comfortable. You're meant to be sharpened like a blade, measured not by how pretty you look on the outside, but by how cleanly you cut through the chaos of life. The world doesn't need more polished masks. It needs men and women who have scars they're not ashamed of. Scars that scream, I bled for this strength. I didn't read it in a book. I carved it out of suffering. So I ask you now, what furnace are you in? What grief is grinding your soul down? What pain keeps you up at night and makes your chest tighten when you think of your future? That's not weakness. That's the raw material. But raw material is nothing without will. The alchemy of pain. Let me give you a truth few can handle. Pain by itself is just noise, a scream in the night, a weight on your back. But when you use it, when you channel it with ruthless clarity, that's when it becomes alchemy. The ancients spoke of turning base metals into gold. That's exactly what you must do with your inner torment. Take that betrayal and use it to build unshakable boundaries. Take that rejection and make it a ritual of resilience. Take that anxiety and convert it into aggressive momentum. Your pain can become your power, but only if you stop seeing it as something done to you and start seeing it as something meant for you. Stop worshiping comfort. Comfort is a liar. It whispers in your ear, you've suffered enough. Just relax. You've earned a break. But that voice is not your ally. It is your executioner. Because every time you kneel to comfort, you abandon your calling. Pain is not the enemy. Comfort is. Comfort will wrap you in chains that look like rest. It will seduce you with mediocrity. And when your edge is gone, when your ambition has dulled, you will look in the mirror and not recognize the ghost staring back. So choose the sharp path, the rugged terrain, the path where you face your fears, not fantasize your escape. Study your wounds. They hold the blueprint. Every scar you carry has a lesson carved into it. Every memory that haunts you holds a secret. If you are willing to listen, your pain will whisper what you need to hear. But you must stop running. Sit with your suffering. Talk to it. Write it. Record it. Look it dead in the eyes and say, what were you here to teach me? Because underneath the pain is purpose. And if you don't mind it, someone else will use your wound to control you, to silence you, to chain you. So reclaim your pain. Strip it of its mystery, and wield it like a blade only you know how to use. Build rituals of power. Here's the part most people miss. You can't just feel powerful. You must ritualize your transformation. Wake up early, not to join the productivity cult, but to remind yourself you are not a slave to the pillow. Train your body, not for aesthetics, but to teach your mind that pain is practice. Fast, meditate, fight, reflect, not because it's trendy, but because you are sculpting a life that demands power to sustain it. Power is not a moment. It is a rhythm, a ritual, a relentless series of micro decisions to face the heat when others run for shade. So ask yourself, what daily pain can you embrace to build your resilience? What hard conversations are you avoiding that could set you free? What fear are you feeding instead of hunting down? Power comes when you pursue discomfort with surgical precision. Your identity must die, so a new one can rise. If you truly want to turn pain into power, you must bury the version of yourself that clings to the story of the victim. That identity, the one that says, "Why me?" has to be burned at the altar of evolution, because the person you're destined to become has no space for excuses. They will not carry your doubts. They will not carry your justifications. They only carry a sword forged from every time you could have quit, but didn't. So let it die. Mourn it if you must, but never go back to it. Because you cannot rise while holding hands with who you used to be. Burn so bright. They feel the heat. When you enter the room, you've seen people who walk in and the atmosphere shifts. Not because they're loud, not because they're flashy, but because they have walked through hell and returned holding fire. That is who you are becoming. The GrimFace warrior isn't loud. They are lethal. They don't boast. They become. And when they show up, you feel it. Because their pain has been turned into presence. Their struggle has been turned into strength. Their silence has been turned into seismic purpose. Step 1. Accept the furnace. Face the pain without flinching. There's a truth so raw, so uncomfortable, that most people spend their entire lives running from it. Pain is the price of becoming. We were raised in a world that taught us to avoid pain. Distract yourself. Stay positive. Focus on what makes you feel good. But that conditioning didn't make us strong. It made us soft, reactive, fragile. You want to become dangerous? Then stop fearing the furnace. Because the furnace doesn't care if you feel ready. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't knock on your door gently. It breaks it down. The furnace is betrayal. The furnace is loss. The furnace is every silent night you spent wondering if you even mattered anymore. And here's the truth most won't tell you. That furnace was not sent to destroy you. It was sent to burn away everything that isn't real. Everything false. Every illusion. Every borrowed belief that told you you're not good enough. You'll never rise. You were born to suffer and survive. No. You were born to suffer and overcome. You were born to feel the pain and turn it into armor. But that transformation can't begin until you stop running. Most people never reach this point. They medicate, they binge, they distract, they lash out at others because they're too afraid to face themselves. They never stop to ask, why does this hurt so badly? And what is this pain trying to awaken in me? They think the pain means something is wrong with them. But the real truth? Pain is proof you're being called. Not to stay the same, but to burn away the weakness. The pain you're running from is the fire that will forge you. There is no alternate route, no shortcut, no detour. Every great warrior, every legend, every unshakable human you admire walked through their personal furnace. And not just once, again and again and again, until they learned to stop flinching, until the fire no longer scared them, until they realized the fire was making them indestructible. This is where most people quit. This is where people say, "I'm not strong enough. I don't want to feel this anymore. This is too much." But what they don't realize is that it's not the pain that's too much. It's their resistance to it. When you resist pain, it owns you. When you face it, you command it. You become the one who looks the storm in the eye and says, "I've been expecting you." You don't run. You don't hide. You step forward. This is the turning point. Right here. This step. This moment. This is where the war begins. It's not a war with other people. Not a war with the world. It's a war with the version of yourself who kneels to suffering, who flinches at every blow, who begs for someone to come and make it easier. That version of you, it must die in the furnace. Because what rises from those ashes is not a victim, not a shell, not a puppet. What rises is a warrior, a weapon, a leader, a soul that has stopped fearing the pain and started using it like fuel. Action steps for step 1. 1. Revisit the deepest pain without numbing it. Find a quiet space. No distractions. No phone. Bring to mind the one moment in your life that broke you. Now stay there. Don't run from it. Feel every ounce of it. Let the tears come. Let the fire burn. And ask one question. What part of me died here? And what part of me is trying to be born? 2. Rename the furnace. Stop calling it my trauma or my darkness. Start calling it what it really is. My refinement. Label your worst experience as the start of your becoming. Write it down. Frame it. Own it. 3. Commit to the fire. Every day, seek one moment of discomfort on purpose. This is your new training ground. Wake up early when you don't want to. Confront someone respectfully when you're scared. Train your body when your mind is weak. These are not just tasks. They're sparring matches with the furnace. You either step in willingly, or life will drag you in unprepared. Final reminder for step 1. This step is not about healing. It's not about coping. It's not about soothing. It's about becoming. And becoming starts when you stop flinching at the fire and start stepping into it with your eyes open. Because only then will you realize you were never meant to be safe. You were meant to be forged. Step 2. Alchemize the pain. Extract the power hidden within. You've stood in the fire. You didn't flinch. You bled. You cracked. You endured. Now it's time to do something far more dangerous than simply surviving. It's time to transmute the agony into fuel. To take the very thing that was meant to break you and turn it into the reason you rise with unstoppable force. This is the alchemy of warriors. The sacred art of converting emotional suffering into mental strength. Of converting shame into sharpened focus. Of converting grief into godlike clarity. But understand this. Pain does not automatically make you stronger. That is a lie. Pain only makes you powerful if you know how to extract its essence. If you know how to harness the fire, not be consumed by it. Most don't. They wear their pain like a badge of honor, but never learn how to wield it. They talk about what happened to them, but never move past it. They let pain become their identity instead of using it to carve a new one. Not you, not anymore. You are here to alchemize it. What is alchemy? In the ancient world, alchemy was the process of turning base metals, like lead, into gold. But the real alchemists weren't just concerned with metal. They knew the truth. The most powerful alchemy happens within the soul. You are the base material. Your trauma is the fire, and your choice is the crucible. It is in this crucible that your weakness is burned away, and your real self emerges. Stronger, sharper, scarred, but sovereign. This isn't spiritual theory. This is psychological warfare. You've seen it before. Those who walk into the room and you feel their gravity. You can see it in their eyes. They've been through hell. But they didn't just walk out. They came back carrying the fire with them. You will be that person. Every emotion is energy. Use it. Your pain holds energy. That's why it doesn't go away. Energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be redirected. The goal is not to get over what hurt you. The goal is to reassign its power. Let's break it down. Rejection becomes ruthless self-respect. Abandonment becomes absolute self-reliance. Failure becomes hunger for mastery. Humiliation becomes spiritual humility and iron focus. Loss becomes detachment and lethal clarity. You're not healing. You're reforging. You're not letting go. You're recasting the weight into a weapon. Every pain has a lesson. Extract it or repeat it. Here's what separates the strong from the forgotten. Those who do not extract the lesson from their pain are doomed to recreate the pain again and again. The relationships may change. The environment may change. But the cycles repeat. Why? Because pain, like a spiritual teacher, keeps knocking until you answer. So, answer. Look your most painful memory in the eye and ask it, what were you trying to teach me that I refused to learn? If you were betrayed, maybe you needed to learn how to stop trusting blindly. If you were abandoned, maybe you needed to stop outsourcing your sense of worth. If you lost it all, maybe you needed to become someone who can never be robbed again. Pain is precise. It shows you exactly what to change, but only if you're willing to dissect it. Transmutation requires death of the old meaning. Before you can extract power from pain, you must first kill the old meaning you've attached to it. You are not damaged. You are not a victim. You are not just unlucky. Those labels are lies the weak tell themselves to justify staying the same. And you are no longer one of them. You are not cursed. You are called. You are not broken. You are in process. You are not powerless. You are charged with potential. But potential means nothing without transmutation. Psychological alchemy in practice. This isn't just theory. Here's how to do it daily. 1. Write the pain story as it is. Describe the pain exactly how you remember it. No filters, no edits, no politeness, just raw truth. Bleed onto the page. 2. Find the power hidden inside it. Now ask, what did this pain give me that I couldn't have earned any other way? Find it, even if it's ugly, especially if it's ugly. Was it awareness, boundaries, emotional strength, ruthlessness? Name it. Claim it. 3. Reframe the entire story. Now rewrite the story from the perspective of your higher self. I was betrayed, so I could awaken. I was abandoned, so I could learn to never abandon myself again. I failed, so I could learn where the real war is. Repeat this new version of the story every morning, because repetition is what etches power into your subconscious. Bonus ritual: pain conversion sessions. Once per week, choose one past pain. Light a candle. Play no music. Sit in complete silence. Close your eyes. Visualize the moment. Re-feel it. Then speak this out loud. I do not fear you. I mine you for strength. I reclaim the power that was buried in you. I turn this into my fire, my fuel, my focus. You were not the end of me. You were the beginning. This is how you break the spell of suffering, not by forgetting it, but by forging something new from its ashes. Final reminder for step 2. You are not here to survive your pain. You are here to convert it, to turn every scar into scripture, to turn every breakdown into strategy, to turn every tear into the spark that lights a battlefield on fire. You are not soft. You are not fragile. You are the alchemist of your agony. And now, the world better be ready for the gold that comes from your fire. Step 3. Reject comfort. Build rituals that sharpen you. You face the furnace. You've begun the sacred art of alchemizing your pain. But now, you're faced with a different kind of threat. One far more seductive than pain. One that kills not with violence, but with softness. Comfort. The trap of comfort. Comfort is the new prison. But unlike bars and chains, it doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as self-care, as peace, as normal. It whispers lies like, "You've done enough. You deserve rest. Just one more scroll, one more bite, one more day off the grind." These aren't thoughts. They're weapons, designed to dull your edge, to rock you to sleep in the middle of a battlefield, to pacify the inner warrior before he ever unsheathes his blade. Comfort does not want you to be strong. It wants you dependent, tamed, distracted, predictable, and it is winning. Because most people don't even know they're under attack. Why? Comfort is the enemy of power. Power is born in pain, but it is sustained in discipline. And discipline cannot survive in comfort. It dies there, quietly, day by day, routine by routine. You cannot build resilience in temperature-controlled safety. You cannot forge strength in the absence of resistance. You cannot become unstoppable when you keep retreating into softness. Comfort is not your friend. It is your executioner in disguise. The true purpose of discomfort. Discomfort isn't punishment. It's permission. Permission to become who you were always meant to be. It is the proving ground. It is the whetstone. It is the crucible in which average men are broken and warriors are born. When you choose discomfort deliberately, you begin to reclaim control over your mind and body. You become sovereign. You become sharp. You become immune to the temptations that enslave the weak. This is not about being tough for show. It's about becoming indestructible beneath the surface. Build rituals that strip away weakness. The most powerful people you know are not born. They are ritualized. Their habits sharpen them. Their routines harden them. Their daily choices separate them from the masses. Your power lies in what you choose to do when no one is watching. When the pressure isn't on. When the comfort is calling. This is when you either decay or evolve. The 3 realms of ritual. Build your rituals across these 3 battlegrounds. 1. Physical rituals. Your body is the gatekeeper of your will. Cold showers every morning. Not for refreshment, for command. Daily training. Not for image, for identity. Fasting. Not to lose weight. To regain discipline over your hunger. Each act teaches you that the body obeys the mind, but only when the mind stops making excuses. 2. Mental rituals. The battlefield of the mind is cluttered with noise. Daily silence. At least 10 minutes. No input. No escape. Just awareness. No phone in the first and last hour of the day. You are not a slave to dopamine. Read 1 hard truth a day. Digest it. Sit with it. Let it scar you into wisdom. Your thoughts are not random. They are either trained or manipulated. You choose which. 3. Emotional rituals. Emotions are not weaknesses. They are weapons when tamed, and liabilities when unchecked. Speak a truth that makes you sweat daily. Have the hard conversation. Don't postpone. Don't rehearse. Do it. Journal one painful memory. Write it without censorship. Transform it through confrontation. These rituals keep you in control of the inner terrain. Without emotional rituals, the past will bleed into your present and destroy your future. The death of negotiation. Rituals only work when they are non-negotiable. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? You don't say, maybe later. You say, this is what I do, every day, without question. The moment you negotiate with weakness, weakness becomes your master. No, not anymore. You've come too far for that. Create your code of discipline. Write it. Etch it in stone. Live by it. Here's an example of a foundational ritual code. Wake before the sun. Cold exposure immediately. Train the body before sunrise. No social media until after work. 1 hour in total silence. One painful truth spoken aloud. This is not a checklist. It is a declaration. A war cry against modern decay. Discomfort is your new compass. If it's difficult, it's worth doing. If it scares you, lean toward it. If it challenges your ego, let it shatter you. If it strips you of comfort, let it carve clarity. Discomfort shows you where your edge is and where you still need to bleed. This is how you escape the fate of average men. This is how you separate yourself in a world drowning in softness. You stop running from pain. You stop chasing comfort. And you build rituals that force your evolution. Final reminder for step 3. You do not become powerful by accident. You become powerful by ritualizing resistance. The world will offer you comfort. The algorithm will offer you distractions. Your weaker self will offer you excuses. Reject them all. Let every day be a reminder. This is war. Every ritual is a strike. Every choice is a battle. And your discipline is the weapon they never see coming. Step 4. Kill the victim identity. Rebirth your warrior self. You've faced the furnace. You've learned to extract power from pain. You've built rituals that harden your edge. Now comes the most violent part of this process. Not externally, but internally. You must commit spiritual murder. You must kill the part of yourself that has been holding you back. The version of you built by trauma, by fear, by failure, by rejection, by limitation. You must kill the victim identity. Because as long as that version of you still draws breath, you will always carry the echo of weakness. And that echo will whisper, you can't. You're not enough. It's their fault. You were never meant to win. No, that voice does not belong to the warrior you're becoming. It belongs to the corpse of your former self. And now it's time to bury it. For good. The victim identity is addictive. Don't underestimate it. It's not just a thought pattern. It's a drug. And like any drug, it provides short-term comfort with long-term decay. The victim gets a hit of sympathy. They get to offload responsibility. They get to say, I'm this way because of what happened to me. And the world will reward them for it. They'll get the likes. They'll get the validation. They'll get the echo chamber that says, you're right. You deserve to be angry forever. But inside, they rot. Because deep down, every soul knows You can't become unstoppable while identifying as someone powerless. Victimhood is a mask for fear. It's easier to say, I can't, than to risk failure. It's easier to say, they hurt me, than to admit, I never healed. It's easier to say, life's unfair, than to admit, I've been avoiding my own potential. Victimhood is not just weakness. It is fear, dressed as entitlement. The truth, you're not afraid of the pain. You're afraid of what would happen if you no longer had that pain as an excuse. Because then you'd have no one left to blame, no crutch left to lean on, no mask left to hide behind. Only the truth, that you've always been capable. And now, you're out of excuses. The warrior identity is not claimed. It's chosen. Becoming a warrior isn't a moment of inspiration. It's a ritual of death and rebirth. The old version of you, the one that hesitates, explains, complains, shrinks, plays small, must die. Not once. Daily. This is spiritual warfare. Every day you wake up, you make a choice. Am I going to resurrect the victim or rebirth the warrior? Because they can't coexist. You cannot wear both armors. One protects your comfort. The other prepares you for conquest. Choose what the warrior identity looks like. The warrior doesn't whine. They observe. They don't blame. They adjust. They don't dwell. They decide. They don't react. They respond. They don't hope. They become hope. The warrior understands. Everything that hurt me, everything that betrayed me, everything that broke me, it didn't happen to define me. It happened to refine me. The funeral ritual. You need to bury your old identity. And no, this isn't a metaphor. This is a real ritual you need to perform. Take a pen and paper. Write a letter as if you're speaking to the version of yourself you're leaving behind. Be brutal. Be raw. Be honest. Tell them what they cost you, how long you carried them, what you're choosing now instead. End the letter with a declaration. You are no longer in control. I release you. I bury you. From this day forward, I rise. Burn it. Bury it. Destroy it. But never resurrect it. Because now, you are someone else. The rebirth declaration. Once the old identity is dead, something must take its place, or the void will pull you back into old patterns. Create a declaration, a code, a creed, something that aligns with who you are becoming. Examples: I am unshakable in chaos. I extract wisdom from every wound. I fear no discomfort. I seek it. I am no longer available for weakness, excuses, or delay. Repeat this code aloud daily, with presence, with pain, with precision, until your bones believe it, until your energy speaks it before your mouth does, until people feel your presence and say, that's not the same man, that's not the same woman, because they're right. You buried that version long ago. Warriors are forged through self-execution. Make no mistake, you are not becoming stronger because of external achievement. You're becoming stronger because you are executing the weaker self inside you, over and over again. That voice that says, it's not fair. I'll do it tomorrow. What if I fail? They didn't believe in me. I don't feel like it. Kill it. Not once. Every day. With every rep. With every action. With every word unspoken that used to be laced in self-pity. Your silence is now sacred. Your movement is now sacred. Your life is now built on the bones of who you used to be. Final reminder for step 4. You cannot walk into your future while dragging your past. You cannot carry a sword while hugging your trauma. You cannot lead your life while still explaining your limitations. Let it go. Not for closure, for conquest. Because the world doesn't need another person with potential. It needs one more warrior who burned the old self to the ground and walked away from the ashes without looking back. You are that warrior now. Step 5. Embody the flame. Become the weapon that walks silently. You've faced the pain. You've transmuted it. You've built rituals. You've buried the victim. Now comes the final evolution. Embodiment. Not talking, not hoping, not imagining, becoming. This step is where you stop trying to be powerful and simply are. It's the moment when your power is no longer something you chase. It's something you carry. You no longer need to explain yourself. You don't need to post about the grind. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Because now, you are the flame. What is embodiment? Embodiment is not the act of becoming. It is the act of being. No internal debate. No doubt. No audience needed. It's when the identity you forged through fire, the one you trained, tested, and proved, becomes your default state. Your silence becomes heavier than most people's speeches. Your presence becomes more commanding than the words of kings. Your energy speaks before you do. Because every step you take is backed by war. You've earned your walk. You've bled for it. And now the world must feel it, whether they understand it or not. The silent weapon. The strongest warriors are not loud. They don't broadcast their process. They don't explain their pain. They don't need validation or applause. Why? Because when you truly embody power, you become the weapon. Not the blade you hold. Not the armor you wear. You. You are the edge that cuts. You are the force that moves silently through chaos. You are the presence that unsettles the room, even when you say nothing. The weaponized soul does not posture. It does not beg. It does not doubt. It simply moves, with clarity, with control, with cold fire behind the eyes. Stillness is strength. When you reach this level, you stop needing motion to feel powerful. Stillness becomes your power source. You can sit in a room full of noise and remain unmoved. You can stand in front of chaos and remain composed. You can be insulted, underestimated, or betrayed, and respond with silence that terrifies the weak. Because your strength isn't reactionary, it's internal, rooted, unshakable. You've burned off every dependency. You've severed ties to external validation. You've detached from needing to be understood. Now, your power comes from alignment, not emotion. Become a living reminder. You are no longer just a person. You are a reminder. A reminder of what happens when someone refuses to quit. A reminder of what discipline looks like in human form. A reminder of what transformation costs and what it creates. You don't have to tell your story. They'll see it in your eyes. They'll feel it in your posture. They'll sense it in your energy. This is what embodiment means. You become a living weapon, not built for war with others, but for mastery of self. The 4 traits of the embodied warrior. 1. Composure under pressure. You no longer fold. You no longer escalate. You observe. You calculate. You decide. You are not impulsive. You are surgical. Your power is not just in what you do, but in what you choose not to do. 2. Presence, without performance. You enter a room and people take notice. Not because you're loud, but because your stillness radiates something primal. You don't announce. You arrive, and arrival is enough. 3. Unbreakable rhythm. You live by a personal code. You do the hard things without question. There are no off days, No waiting for motivation. You move with a rhythm of war, and that rhythm makes your life unstoppable. 4. Grace. Under chaos. The world burns. People panic. Systems collapse. You breathe. You think. You adapt. Because you are no longer reactive. You are forged. Action steps for embodiment. 1. Choose one identity statement. This isn't affirmation fluff. It is a command to your nervous system. Examples. I am the presence that cannot be ignored. I walk with fire and leave silence behind me. I am the weapon, and my life is the battleground. Repeat it morning and night until it becomes bone deep. 2. Develop a presence practice. Each day, sit in silence for 15 minutes. No input, no distraction, just presence. Observe yourself. Observe your energy. Practice walking slowly, breathing deeply, moving deliberately. This teaches your body to embody stillness with strength. 3. Live unavailable to weakness. Make a list of actions, people, and habits you are no longer available for. Then enforce it. If it drains your energy, distracts your focus, or disrupts your fire, it's cut off. No explanations, no guilt, no apologies. You are no longer available for softness, only alignment. The embodied warrior leaves. No doubt. When you enter a room, people should feel like something ancient just walked in. Not flashy, not loud, just unspoken gravity. You've been through fire. You've cut off every excuse. You've trained your rituals. You've silenced the inner victim. Now, you walk in power. You embody the flame. And the world has no choice but to adjust to your frequency. Final reminder. For step 5. Power isn't just what you do. It's who you are when nothing needs to be said. It's in your eyes. It's in your breath. It's in your posture when the world throws chaos at you. And you don't blink. You are no longer someone becoming. You are someone being. You are the weapon, the walking fire, the silent proof that pain creates gods when wielded with discipline. There's nothing left to prove, only everything left to execute. To the returning GrimFace warriors, you already know what this is. You've lived the fire. You've walked through the darkness, and you carry this message like a blade in your spine, unseen by the world, but felt by everyone in your presence. Your discipline, your resilience, your silent battles, they don't go unnoticed here. You are the reason this movement breathes. To those of you who are new, this isn't just another motivational channel. This is a forge, a sanctuary for those who've been through hell and refuse to die in it. A battleground for those who want more than empty words. They want transformation through fire. Here we don't glorify comfort. We don't chase clout. We rise through pain. We train in silence. We build ourselves into something the world is no longer prepared to handle. So if something inside you stirred today, if you felt the voice in the back of your mind say, This is what I've been waiting for, then welcome home. Subscribe to the GrimFace channel. Join the movement. Sharpen yourself daily and carry this fire forward, because we are not here to be understood. We are here to become undeniable. Until next time, stand tall, move with precision, and remember, we do not kneel. We rise. GrimFace. Forever forward.